Robert Estrid here at livingpiano.com. And when a piano is in tune like this instrument you just heard, there's a glorious tone. And you may wonder when to get your piano tuned. How do you know when it's time to get your piano tuned? And it's not as easy a thing as you might think. So I'm going to liken it to a couple of different things. If any of you play guitar, you know that every time you take it out, you tune it up. In a perfect world, you would do the same thing with your piano. But since there's almost over 200 strings to tune, it's not practical. So there are certain guidelines, much like with your car. When do you get the oil change? Well, you have an odometer reading. But if you ever notice that there's also a date. So even if you don't drive your car, it's still recommended you change the oil. Well, the same thing is true for your piano. Your piano might sound fine to you, but maybe it's been a year and a half since it's been tuned. Well, it's important to get it tuned because the whole piano could shift up or down, might sound good within itself, but the instrument will not be able to accept a tuning without several more tunings to get the pitch stable again. So, rough guidelines. The Piano Technicians Guild recommends ideally a piano should be tuned about 4 times a year, a minimum of twice. Why is that? It's very simple. The change of seasons affects the tuning of your piano. So even if you don't play your piano, it's got to be tuned a minimum of a couple of times a year, and in most climates, 4 times a year is really closer to ideal. Now, if you play the piano a great deal, every time you play it, it goes out a little bit, especially if you're a strong player and practice a good deal. You might consider monthly tunings of your piano. Now, I know you might think this gets very expensive, but in the long run, like changing the oil in your car, the more you tune your piano, the better you preserve the instrument and the more stable the tuning becomes. You never save money by putting off tuning. So here's what I recommend for you. If you're a casual player and you've got a stable environment for your piano, put it on your calendar to get it tuned at least twice a year. Once a year, it's kind of like 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards, because your piano over time will not really be stable enough. But if you do it twice a year, you might just stay on that cusp of at least not going backwards in the tuning stability. Ideally, more tunings. You'll appreciate it, and eventually you'll save money because your piano will become so stable that the tunings will hold longer for you. So that's the long and short of it. And thanks for joining me, Robert Estrid here at livingpiano.com.